There are purchases that are sort of like at the supermarket where you're like, oh, I have to read that Us Magazine article. And so you buy it for $4.95.
In the case of art for decoration in your house because you like it, that's one thing. But
Right.
is there a similar price point where maybe you should have considered buying something from XYZ Western artist, which would have been in the same ballpark and has or will hold value?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, this also, sort of falls under the category of local art, which it gets into a different sort of idea that you are buying something to give you the memory of somewhere you've been or somewhere you have a second home or somewhere you live. And then you're dealing with a sentimental value, and sentimental value is sort of the dirty word in the art business because sentimental value doesn't make you a profit at the end of the day. It gives you joy, which is, as you and I have talked about, something that art gives you as an investment that other things don't.
Right.
But it is important to know what you're buying and to know that you are buying something that is going to take up your money for a considerable time. You are going to enjoy it, but at the end of the journey with the art, is it going to be something you get the money out of? And Western art, certainly not my huge field of expertise, but I do know there's a good market for certain artists.
Yeah.
Many of the good Western artists that have serious markets were, in fact, some of the artists that Roosevelt sent in the WPA out west to document the West as it sort of
was at the time. Yeah.
Right. And also the West was populated. And it was something that the government very much wanted to get sort of a last shot of. So they sent a lot of photographers, a lot of painters out there to document the American Indian and the sort of the Western landscape. So those artists who did that in the sort of from sort of 1890 into the sort of Roosevelt years, there is some serious value there. Artists like Farney, and then some of the photographers like Ansel Adams, and who were employed by the government to go and do this. I know that's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at something you saw in a sort of a smaller town art gallery. Yes.
Yeah, and Sohail, I'm not sure. Can you share with him so he can see what these pictures are that we're looking at?
Yeah. Can you see them, Max?
I see. I see a street scene.
Exactly.
I can't tell if it's a saloon or a.
Yeah, it looks like a hotel, old Western like saloon, and obviously you see the beautiful frame.
Yes, there we go. That's helpful.
Yeah, and then there's
it's got that sort of feeling of isolation that you see in a lot of these sort of Western scenes. The quote unquote one horse town.
Right.
Although there's two horses.
But there's a number of things that I found, like this is just one that I really liked. And then my wife was immediately, oh my God, if you love it, I want to get it for you. I was like, oh, stop. Not buying anything until I talk to Max. And this is those emotional.
Like something and not buy it.
Yeah, like just wait. Yeah. But this gallery had a lot of different types of art. So can you go to one of the pictures that shows? Oh, this was my favorite by far. This was my favorite. It's by Tegan, age 4, and the price is priceless. Isn't that great?
There we go.
This introduces a question. I have a question, Max.
Yes.
So Frank just said he told his wife not to buy something he liked. What if you really like it?
Well, then I think you get into the 100 questions that me as an advisor would ask, being like, what's your budget? If your budget's $50,000 and this painting's $500, have at it. You
Yeah.
know, it's going to look great in the study. It's going to look great over little Frankie's bed. It's not that there are purchases that are sort of like at the supermarket, where you're like, oh, I have to read that Us Magazine article, and so you buy it for $4.95. There are I've definitely, seen that in the art world. But if it's something you like because you liked it in this store and it's something that's pushing your budget, then I really think you have to stop and think and do your research and, cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure that there's not this market out there that maybe is far under what you're about to pay, or that there's no market for said artist. Is the artist dead or alive? In other words, will the artist be making more of these?
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.